Hello there, defenders of the Dread Fort. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, The Darkest Ages. Episode 48. Building a sauna to rest our weary bones. Alright, let's watch this flare pack. Because, I don't know where the last one went. No one's wearing it. I can see everyone's torch belts. Yo, no, come on, man. You're almost done. 4 work left. You are bringing it to... yeah, the general stock room. So we must have just smelted it because it didn't have like a... because as you see, it doesn't have a quality. So I think if we enable this... yep. He's trying to smelt it. It's a known... it's a known bug. So if I unclick Disruptor Flare Pack, it's stupid. Because this flare pack is no quality. It's not awful or poor. It just doesn't have a quality modifier, but it's counted as like having one. So they destroy it. I don't really get it, to be honest. RimWorld do better. In fact, I vaguely recall them patching that like long ago. So this actually might be the mod that I'm using for medieval disruptor flares. I'm not sure. Fun size. You get the new horse. Unfortunately, it's not a stupid name, but, you know, I don't think anyone was up for a stupid name anyway. Congrats. They did fix it for grenades. Yeah, because, like, smoke launchers, EMP launchers, grenades don't have quality modifiers. Molotovs, etc. But I guess not Disruptor Flare. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to bug fix it. That's what happened to it, obviously. And I sort of figured that out after I had 2 of them disappear. Problem solved. Alright, we'll get one more Disruptor Flare pack, which will be for the other Trigger Happy. The idea is that the Trigger Happies can do the most damage once they disrupt something. So I figure I'll give it to them as a preference over everyone else. Alright, now that we have a brewery, I'm going to make this room a little bit larger to accommodate coolers and the like. That will be the one extra thing I do. And then we'll stick we'll temperature control it a little bit too. And that will be the extra room. No one uses EMP launchers? You know, I do. They're really good against Empire troops and also mechs. Especially when you have brawlers, because you can, like, skip a mech away, EMP it, and then brawl the hell out of it or something like that. There's some synergy there. Oh, nope. Yeah, we're still good. I was like, you mentioned, did I block the wind? But no, somehow I didn't. Dumb luck. We're just dumb. Forget the luck. So what do we do after this? And before I forget, let's hit the conversion ritual. So we're going for Sean. And we'll see how it goes. I'm not yet done with the brewery. But this is for whatever takes over next. This north wall doesn't need to be double walled. That's true. It does not. So we could extend it as well that way, if we wanted to. Because we have this insulating room. I like how it's somewhat impressive. It's like, sure, I guess. I'm going to remove most of the flagstone. The only flagstone I want to keep is the flagstone that blocks trees growing right in front of the door, because they're still annoying. I could consider adding another, like, ground well. If I did, I'd probably put it here, but I don't really need... I haven't really needed the water. I'm nearly at capacity, so I don't think it matters. Masterful! Son of a... So he converted, obviously, and instantly. But Masterful would have converted Mike instantly, too. Whatever. Randy, I hate you. So the good news is, Sean is of our ideology now, which is awesome, because now we can, like, preach health and stuff. So that's a real benefit, at least. And there's no point in Ginger doing a keep converting on Mike, because, like, Mike is too resistant. So, there's 0 point to doing that. Alright, Mr. McGee, you are going to take the other pack. Now we're Pac-Man together. Yeah, totally. We're Pac-Man. Waiting on my builders. Oh, what do we build? Oh, we're making healing drafts. Yeah, we got our first glow stool that we planted over half a year ago. Oh my god. What does this disruptor flare pack do? So for invisible entities, well, I'll just read it. A utility pack that shoots disruptor flares. On impact, the flare burns a capsule of bioferrite, which creates a bright flash and a local psychic disruption. This stuns psychically sensitive creatures, revealing those that are invisible and reducing their consciousness and movement speed for a short while. Afterwards, the flare continues to burn, lighting up a wide area for some time. So they're very useful against invisible enemies, and just really any enemies in general that can stun them, but they're most useful in the unnatural darkness when the whole world turns pitch black, and if you're in the darkness you die, you get stabbed to death. The disruptor flares are flares, and they will light up the darkness for a while. So it allows you to, like, throw flares down to create a path out to the noctiliths. If you remember, you know, me dealing with that a while back. Or if you've fought noctiliths or whatever. Plumbing and bathrooms. You got it. I'll add that to the priority in just a minute. But we are cranking out the healing drop. So, for a reminder, these healing drafts increase your injury healing rate. So if you have a bunch of injuries, they'll heal you up real good. But it does make you tired. So they're really good if you're, like, beat to hell and you need to recover quickly, and you're on, like, bed rest. That's what they're for. We're dropping flares in the containment room, lower escape rates? No, because the containment rooms are lit with torches already, so they're already illuminated. What they would do is if something did escape, and that escape thing is running rampant, you could stun it with a disruptor flare. It's kind of like a psycast stun paired with like an illumination. I guess. You can think of it that way. Matic idle. So if Matic is idle, let's go ahead and address our need for tabards. Make tabard until we have 2. They can only be made of cloth. Got it. 95 plus. Done. So we might want some more cloth for the tabards. When I have a zone that can do that, I'll maybe plant some more cloth. I probably don't need to touch the hay for a while. We're at like 4K hay, which is a bit much, not gonna lie. And I did just mention maybe wanting cloth and maybe wanting hops. So let's use the newly annexed North Zone for that. Cloth 1. And we'll try to do like a big batch of beer. These areas are only super fertile right now because it's been raining. As soon as the rain subsides, they'll lose their super fertility. So now's the time to strike. I'm not going to bother fertilizing it. When we research Devil Strand, do we want that as well? Probably the time to do Devil Strand is right when the growing season starts in the spring, because Devil Strand can be killed by frost, and or otherwise to prepare a Devil Strand farm, which would be something that would be walled up, that could then be roofed up and like kept warm in the winter, and then unroofed in this, you know, when it's not cold, to then keep growing. But if I planted Devil Strand right now, there's nowhere that it wouldn't die in the frost. So what I could do is, as a priority, is to include the like build a Devil Strand farm, or like a heated farm or something like that, because Glowstool has a similarly ridiculous plant time, and I've lost a whole bunch of Glowstool to frost as well, and it's the bottlenecked ingredient of healing drafts. Speaking of which, the Glowstool rots rather quickly. So I might want to use it rather than lose it. So I might consider making as many healing drafts as I possibly can make, rather than to try to get inspiration drafts. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to make healing drafts forever. Just crank them out and raise my immunization drafts up to like 10. Yeah, I'll do that. So the brewery is done. It's cool enough in there right now that I don't need to like temperature control it. But I have wood stored there so I can put fires or coolers in there. I know the geothermal vent here could be used to make a farm. That can be a heated zone priority sometime in the future. Okay, so you guys voted for plumbing. Let's add that to the goal. Improve plumbing. So we do already have bathrooms in the south, so I don't really need the bathrooms. What I need is septic tanks, because we don't really have a way of dealing with like excess sewage, and we're getting a lot of sewage. So maybe what I'll do is I'll have a leach field. Oh my goodness. I'll have a leach field up in the north, and I'll run the extra plumbing. Line, where'd that tabard go? Oh, I don't think tabards are being stored correctly. Also, we have like tons of... Oh, that's just like dead people that have tabards. Never mind. Yeah, tabards are not being stored correctly, so I gotta add them to the... What? What? Oh, this shelf is full. Okay, duh. There it is. Wanted to give it to my like main brawler. So I'll add a leach field up here for the septic tanks. Actually, yeah, it might be a bad idea. Maybe I'll do it here. Only because it's right next to where I store the sewage. So the idea is that we will allow the toilets to drain to the septic tanks, and then we can empty the septic tanks automatically, so we can improve the latrines and then not have like the sewage clog up the doors, which happen frequently, because that's been a recurring problem. So that tabard, if you're wondering, increases pain shock threshold. Actually, the fact that it's legendary doesn't really matter at all, huh? Because it doesn't offer any defense, so it's like big whoop. It really doesn't matter. All it does is raise mark value for virtually no reason. Alright, whatever. Tabards. But the pain shock will be nice. Oh, Serenity just gave birth to 2. And the originals are now big enough to also rescue. So we'll train them in rescue. So these 2 new pups are going to get sterilized, hopefully not lobotomized. They will also need beds. I've got enough light leather for some beds. I'm having a pretty good day. Yeah, thanks for asking. Wish I wasn't under the weather. But apart from that, not too bad. So raffle time are up for the new pups. At some point, I might have to, like, pull the plug on, like, Operation Puppy Mill. Because, like, I don't want an entire fort full of, like, Imperial Warhounds that just die constantly due to the threat level that is our, you know, normal, I think Matic ran out of... No, there's still a little bit of cloth left. But we're pretty low. So once the septic tank is done, what it will do is it will hold a certain amount of waste and treat it, allowing it to essentially delete it. And then I'm going to replace these latrines one at a time so that we still have valid bathrooms for... I don't have something better than latrines, do I? Which is funny. We have, like, bathtubs, but we don't have toilets. Let me double check that that is indeed the case. So, basin, bathtub, yeah, no. Nope. Nope. I will include saunas in improved plumbing. How's that sound? So I'll replace the wooden ones with something less splintery. Truth be told, like... Oh my god, I almost wanted to do jade. I won't do jade. Wood sounds better to me than, like, slate or granite, which sounds incredibly cold. But yeah, we'll replace them with wood to granite to mostly just indicate the fact that they're plumbed. Because we'll be plumbing them once we're done. That is a lot of hops. I'm probably going to regret planting that much, but whatever. All right, plumbing hidden. Granite. There. And it seems like the puppies got sterilized without incident. They did not get lobotomized. That's good. They didn't join Fangface in the oops, screwdriver to the brain. And anytime we replace the toilet, I'll have to remember to, like, flip on occupancy check. Otherwise, we're gonna have some really upset people. This is plumbed, right? Oh, it's just because no one's used this toilet yet. It doesn't have piping. Never mind, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Nice. The northern area is now being farmed. Awesome. Oh, Mike. One day you'll learn to stop. Now, I'm not so sure having a septic tank next to a kitchen's a good idea, but luckily RimWorld doesn't care. IRL, that'd be a horrible idea. Unless you're trying to brew up pestilence. Which I'm not, surprisingly. We got 10 seconds left on the puppies. Another terminal. Alright, I'll reroll that. Chittering Cloud. I'll call the puppy Chittering. For short. Hey, Tacos, thank you for the resub. And Synengine. Good names. Chittering and Synengine. I'll probably go for like one more litter and then like call it quits for a bit. Just because at some point it's like more puppies than we can reasonably like keep trained and managed. Or more than I want to deal with, I'll put it that way. We're almost done with the plumbing project, except for the saunas, and I will still be adding saunas. I'll count that as like plumbing. Sort of. And there we go. Yep, we are holding. Holding a lot. But if you hit drain, what it ends up is you just empty it out. And then you have the fecal sludge, but not where it blocks doors. So it's like more convenient. Keeping it as close to the biosolids composters is ideal, but I didn't want to put it in here because there wasn't really space unless I redesigned everything. That will be the last toilet. And then for saunas. So saunas are like a recreation thing to do. And we can get a fueled sauna. I don't know where I want to place it. I could start using the outside. I could put it over here, maybe. Yeah, and wall this up. That'll work. Put the sauna there. That's the weakest door. So I'll bust that down and plop a little sauna in there. We'll give it floorboards. McGee and Ginger. Getting married. What would that last name be? Peluso or Aguilar. Okay, cool. Cheers. Yeah, I much prefer this this way. That way these bathrooms they don't periodically become horrifying when there's like just crap and buckets all over the floor. Because that's realistically what was happening. Oh, it also reminds me, the inside zone can now include this area. This area is hypothetically safe. Even when we have manhunted animals or whatever else outside. I might regret painting this in, but as long as the walls hold. And the other advantage is like, yes, realistically, I could remove the inner walls, but I think I want the double layer. There's been many a times where the outside layer got broken, and then they were like in my inner courtyard, and a layered defense is a defense ready for bad events. So I'll keep the layered defense for that purpose. Meaning that the door here should be like a tough one, so that this isn't. But it's very unlikely that this spot gets attacked anyway, because like that's just a weird path for enemies to take. If this outer annex is to be attacked, it's probably going to be here because that's closest to the shore, or maybe here, but probably not there because it'd be weird to like walk further for no reason. Pawns don't usually do that. I could have also put it there. That's pretty well enclosed. I had sort of thought that area would become containment cells, which is why I didn't plop it in there, but it's not an unreasonable spot for it. So maybe we'll put a medium castle gate here. It's a little ridiculous, but it would be a lot of protection. So I'm going to go with the ridiculous but a lot of protection. And then I'll even enclose the walls here with castle walls so that this is not a weak point in our defense. That way when we're chilling in the sauna, we're not like screwing things up. Unisex is fine. And we'll put the seating in. Maximum of 50 per heater. I think that I might need to shrink this room. Once it's done, I'll measure. Did I plumb the other? Yep. So everything's plumbed up. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That should help out a lot. Especially given that these two toilets were nowhere near the composting barrels. So hauling crap from here all the way up there was labor intensive for no reason. Where's the puppies? Restricted inside for training. Oh, they were up and about. Oh, yes. The last toilet doesn't have occupancy check. True. Alright. Now it's done. Just wait on the lovely sauna to be done. And that will be yet another rec type. The other thing that I should consider is if I am bringing in guests, they should probably be allowed to be there. So my guest zones. Oh, allowed out inside. Shopping area, no shopping. That would be correct. At some point, I might try to like separate a stockpile of like the junk. It's just the going through all of our like our stock room to try to figure out what we want to sell and what we don't is kind of annoying. So that's why I don't have a shopping zone, because it's just how to set it up, you know? I just wasn't all that sure, to be honest. Oh, speaking of which, we have visitors. Whoa! I hope you join us. Oh boy. A bloodless super mean brawler who can construct and do art. Bite scar, that's fine. A wooden arm. Interesting. very inefficient part, but like if you have no arm, I get it. You're also desperately addicted to alcohol. And you're, wow, what a winner. I mean, you can shoot, but like you shoot your mouth more than anything else. Greedy Misandrist. Okay. Iron Will, Tough and Kind. That's a combo. He's 16. A Village Curse Bearer. Cool. And then a Teetotaler who's 15. The kids are cool. Both are great. The adults kind of suck. Yo, kiddos, don't take after your adults. Why are we even harvesting here? We're not allowing to cut or sow, so what are you even doing? Delete. Go away. Who told you you could do that? Like, I don't get it. Don't cut or sow means no touchy. But you decided to touchy anyway. It might not be an unreasonable thing to do to store our hay grass that will eventually rot because we don't have like freezers to just like put a bunch of hay on the floor and then pull up the hay when we want it, right? Because you get returned half of what you invest. So like you can use this can be a refrigerator. I don't think I'm gonna do it, but it would work, technically. It'd be stupid as all hell, but it would technically work. Which makes it tempting. The other thing I just realized is, yeah, we have not updated the home zone. One of the problems of having, like, strange shapes for perimeters is it's, there is no fill tool. I mean, there might be in mods, but I don't have a fill tool, so. Paint by numbers. Yeah, you're right. Don't cut is like, don't harvest... Don't remove plants from this zone to make room for the crop we're planting. So yeah, I mean, if it's ready for harvest, they're going to harvest it no matter what. I just didn't want them to. But there's not really a good way to tell them to cut it out. So this is only a 14 size, so that should be fine for the sauna heater. Yep, it is. Okay, cool. And I'll prop the door open. That might affect it. If it does, I can have double doors. I'll just do like another wood door. Feed it to this airlock or I don't know. Do something. But we hypothetically have both the upgraded plumbing. Now, speaking of which, it's literally blocked up. The upgraded plumbing and then a sauna. So the improved plumbing goal that was above has been met. I'm not going to take a new goal because I have like almost no time left in the stream. So instead, I'll just try to tidy up any loose ends I see around the base. Ooh. You're coming in only with pigs and goats. Sometimes there's exotic animals that they can show up with that are really cool to have. Not this time around, though. And here is Matic. So if we pause a moment and look at his recreational needs, there is a hydrotherapy. Hydrotherapy is sauna. I could go for one right now, too. I'm feeling a little feverish. IRL. Oh my god. Why do we let... This is a barn now? I think what I'll do... I need to move their beds, obviously. The issue is... Oh, well, you know what? this is an empty bedroom for now. So I'll just shove them in there so that they don't change the value of the of my rec room, because my rec room is getting wrecked, getting trashed, and my guests don't like it much, and I don't blame them. It's covered in blood, vomit, filth. Just a typical Tuesday. Next stream we're making a kennel. I mean, we have a makeshift kennel that we're going to do now, but yeah, I might need one. Your name is almost Godiva. It's like, please, chocolate? Yes? Goats, turkey, ducks, I don't need any of those. Hens, don't want it. I could part with like a lot of this hay. And surprisingly enough, they have the carry weight for it. Ooh, Fool's pregnant. I didn't know that. I'm gonna buy their cloth because I don't necessarily want to wait for the cloth that we're growing to come all the way up. And then let's sell these small batches of leather where we don't have enough leather to actually reasonably make something nice. Selling the like drugs that don't have enough income to rely on, you know, scheduling. And then I'll buy the wood. It's a little weird, but like running all the way out, it saves me some labor. So there we go. Little trade. Is there stuff I can gift to you though? No, they're really, unless I want to part with like healing drafts, they're really not looking for much of what I've got. That's fine. Goodbye. And please this time actually take all your animals, because you forgot a muffalo last time and I had to like delete it. Felt bad about deleting an animal, but it wasn't my fault. Who did Stash bond to? Oh, was there a bonding? Animals. Mike. I'll fix that. Good catch. So that means Stash's bed should probably go in Mike's bedroom. And the very last thing I want to do this stream is just to set up the like pseudo kennel, the like dog room, so that I can not have a barn as a rec room, because that's just silly. Where are you going? No, oh my god, okay. I queued it up with Matic, and Matic was like, you know what? I don't feel like it, and just decided to start tailoring. Honestly, seemingly out of nowhere. There, so this one has to be Stash's. And then these are, I'll line them up nicer. Are for all the other hounds, and now the rec room is a rec room again. It's not a very nice rec room, it could definitely use some improvement, you know, maybe some nicer tiles, etc., but it technically is a rec room, and that's close enough for me for now. Well, friends, that is where we're going to leave off. Having finished the West Bridge, defended against a whole host of enemies. We got Chanters and a siege and multiple chimera, and then dealt with the Nesiosphere. And then annexed the north, added a sauna, improved our plumbing, you know, made a whole bunch of alchemical drafts, captured chimera. It was pretty successful, and no one died. No one died yet again. And we also even converted Sean, which was pretty sweet. And that, friends, is where I am going to leave off for today. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld: The Darkest Ages, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Dread Knights.